Hello, my friend. Welcome to your Calm Time Capsule sleep story. My name is Amir. I'm an Irish storyteller, and it's my great privilege to be the voice that you listen to as you go to sleep tonight. As a lot of you will know, I love dogs, and especially my own little dog called Timmy and our new dog called Frankie. And you might like to know that as I record this, Timmy, as he always is when I record my sleep stories, is sound asleep in the corner of the studio. So, tonight I continue my boring series, and we meet the most boring dog that has ever lived, and his name is Trevor. He may not be that boring. Maybe he's just a normal slow-moving dog, but it's all meant as fun, and I hope it brings a smile to your face. And as always, I'd love to hear from you. If you have or ever had a pet, what's their name? And tell me about them in the comments. Okay, let's do the relaxation session, relaxationo, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you or the floor, or whatever surface you lie upon tonight. And beneath all of that, feel the support of the earth, our home. From the earth, we receive a constant support. And as you become aware of that feeling of being supported, see if you can let go a little more now. Releasing tension, letting go. A little more now. 9. Feel into your body. Where are you still holding? Where do you feel tension? Maybe you feel pain. Maybe it's in your feet and your lower legs, in your thighs, in your belly, in your chest. Maybe you're like me and you hold a lot of tension in your hands or in your face. See if you can let that tension go now. Just by becoming aware of it, we can ease the tension. 8. You are safe. Allow my voice to be an anchor of safety tonight, to be a friend. Know that my voice will only ever take you to safe places. And allow that fact, that feeling of trust, to enable you to let go a little more now. 7. The day is done. Whatever has been, has been. Whatever will be, will be. Whatever thoughts you might be having, know them for what they are. Just thoughts. Don't judge them positively or negatively. Know that they are not you. They are a symptom of being a human. And as they arrive, see them, but there's no need to follow them. Watch them go, floating away like leaves on a moonlit river, or clouds passing through a starlit sky. 6. This is your moment. This is your time. You deserve rest. We all do. So, as you move deeper and deeper towards deep rest tonight, know this: you deserve this rest as much as anyone else. 5. Peace lives within you. It is always there. It is a constant friend, a constant presence. It's just waiting to be found, waiting to be felt. See where you can find your peace tonight. 4. Perhaps allow a little gratitude now. Gratitude for the simple things, for this moment of peace, for the shelter you have tonight, for the breath in your body. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see a very normal look house in a very normal look street on a rainy day. And in that house, a very normal looking dog sitting near his very normal looking human. 2. Checking in with your body one more time. Now, your body has worked hard for you today. It's time to give it rest and one completely letting go. Now, as I tell you tonight's sleep story, it is raining again. Sleep story, it rained yesterday, and it will likely rain tomorrow. The rain is not heavy nor light. It is a steady, undecided sort of rain. The kind that makes a sound like someone quietly saying H over and over again. Trevor, the most boring dog that ever lived, is lying on a beige mat near the front door. The mat is shaped like a bone, but not in any fun way. Just a vaguely bone-shaped outline, slightly worn on the corners. Trevor does not notice this. He is dry though. The rain has been falling for hours. This is because Trevor has not gone outside. He is not asked to go outside. He is not the kind of dog who paws at the door or gets excited by weather. He knows it is raining and he has quietly accepted it. His tail does not wag. It rests beside him like a polite suggestion. This is not to say he is unhappy. He is perfectly content. Occasionally, he blinks. Not often, just when necessary. Malcolm, Trevor's human, is in the kitchen. He is making a cup of tea that will be neither too hot nor too cold. Malcolm pours the water from the kettle with the kind of concentration normally reserved for more interesting tasks. Trevor watches him, but not closely. His eyes are open and they are pointing in Malcolm's direction. That is enough. Malcolm stirs his tea twice. Clockwise, never anti-clockwise. He has never told Trevor this, but Trevor knows they are alike in many ways. Predictable, quiet, fond of dump afternoons. Malcolm takes a rich tea biscuit from the tin and considers eating it. He looks at Trevor. Trevor does not react, so Malcolm eats the biscuit. It tastes exactly how he thought it would. No more, no less, at 11 a.m., which is the time they always go for their walk. Malcolm looks at Trevor and says, "Well then," Trevor blinks. This is not enthusiasm. It is acknowledgement. The lead is taken from the hook beside the door. It does not jingle. Malcolm has wrapped it in a bit of old cloth to dull the sound. Trevor appreciates this. Sudden noises are not his thing. Malcolm opens the door. The rain is still coming down and it's steady. They both look at it for a while. Trevor does not move. Malcolm sighs softly and says, "Another west one." Trevor looks at the rain again, then back at the mat. He doesn't want to go for a walk, so he just does what he needs to do in the garden, comes back in. Malcolm closes the door and says, "No walk today, then. Maybe later if the rain does something different, but probably not." Trevor returns to lying down. He turns exactly one half circle before settling again on the mat. His front paw rests over his back paw, but not deliberately. It simply ends up that way. From somewhere in the house, the clock ticks. Trevor listens to it for exactly 27 seconds, then forgets about it entirely. Trevor remains on the mat, which is soft in the middle, and flatter near the corners where his paws have pressed it over time. He likes the mat, not with excitement or affection, but with a quiet, steady loyalty. It is his mat. He knows where the edges are without looking. One of the corners has a tiny frayed thread that sticks out, and sometimes, though not always, Trevor puts his nose near it and breathes out just enough to make it move slightly. He does not play with it, he simply observes. The rain continues outside. It makes a faint ticking sound against the letterbox. Malcolm has placed a tea towel beneath the door because sometimes the rain gets ambitious and tries to creep in. The tea towel is cream-colored and was once part of a set. The other two are in a drawer. They have not been used since last November. Trevor has no opinion about this. He simply notices that the house smells faintly of damp fabric and biscuit tin. These are good smells. Trevor closes his eyes for 39 seconds. Then he opens them again just to make sure nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. From the kitchen, Malcolm hums a tune that might be a hymn or might be the noise he makes when trying to remember where he left his reading glasses. Trevor doesn't know, but he finds the sound reassuring. It is neither loud nor musical, just there. Trevor shifts his weight slightly to the left. This is not because he is uncomfortable. Trevor is rarely uncomfortable, but because he feels it. Is the right time to shift. The new position is very similar to the last one, just different enough to count. Around midday, Malcolm says, "Would you like a biscuit?" Trevor does not move, but his ears tilt forward just a little, which is how he says yes. Malcolm takes a biscuit from the tin. Not the rich tea this time, but one of the plain dog biscuits that smell faintly of old oats. Malcolm breaks it in half. Trevor receives the biscuit half in silence and eats it slowly. Without ceremony, the chewing makes a gentle sound like someone folding paper over and over again. When it's done, he looks at Malcolm briefly and Malcolm nods as if to say, "That was nice." Trevor blinks. It was the radiator comes on at 12, as it does every day in winter and most days in spring, because Malcolm does not trust the weather not to change its mind. Trevor gets up slowly, of course, and walks 7 steps to his second favorite spot, which is the patch of carpet closest to the radiator, but not too close. He turns once, then a second time, then settles down. The warmth touches his side and his nose rests gently on the floor. From here, you can still hear Malcolm in the kitchen. The rain continues, and Trevor is entirely wonderfully okay. By early afternoon, the rain has not stopped, but it has settled into a more consistent rhythm. Or maybe it's the same. Trevor isn't sure. Malcolm says quietly, "Still raining," even though there is no one else in the room apart from Trevor. And Trevor already knows. He is known all day. He does not look up, but he hears the words and stores them somewhere inside him, like a folded sock in the back of a drawer, just in case. At 1:40 p.m., the letterbox makes a sound that is slightly different from the rain. It is a quick, metallic click, followed by the papery sigh of something slipping through. Trevor lifts his head by exactly 3 in, then places it back down. He has already concluded that the letter poses no threat. Malcolm does not rush to collect it. He finishes what he is doing, cutting the ends off some green beans, and then dries his hands with a towel that is slightly too small to do the job properly. Only then does he shuffle over to the door and bend down to retrieve the envelope. It is a white envelope with a clear plastic window, and Malcolm looks at it, realizing it is nothing interesting, and places it carefully in a neat stack on the whole table. The stack is held in place by a decorative stone that Malcolm once found on a trip to the seaside. It is round and smooth, and the color of milk that's been stirred with 2 spoons of instant coffee. Trevor has sniffed this stone many times, but has never licked it. It does not invite licking. Malcolm makes a small noise halfway between a yawn and a sigh and moves to the armchair in the living room. He sits down, adjusting the cushion behind his back, even though he knows it doesn't really make a difference. Trevor watches this from the radiator spot. After 2 minutes and 22 seconds, he stands, walks 9 steps this time, taking a longer route around the coffee table, and settles beside Malcolm's chair. He does not ask for attention. He simply exists next to it. Malcolm reaches down and scratches behind Trevor's ear in the exact place that Trevor sometimes forgets is itchy. Trevor closes his eyes for the duration of the scratch. It lasts 18 seconds. When it ends, he opens his eyes again and shifts just enough to rest his chin on Malcolm's slipper. The slipper is old, possibly older than Trevor. It has a small tear near the toe, and Malcolm has repaired it once with a bit of grey thread that does not quite match. Trevor does not mind. The slipper smells like dust and toast crumbs. It is objectively a very good place to rest your chin. The day continues as it always does in the gentle middle part of everything. Nothing begins, nothing ends. The rain stays where it is. The radiator stays warm. Malcolm does not speak. Trevor does not move. It is all quietly, exactly as it should be. Late afternoon arrives, not suddenly, but in the same unhurried manner it always does. The light changes only slightly, less of it perhaps, and a bit more grey in the corners of the room, but there is no announcement. Trevor notices this in his way. He does not glance at the window or shift in anticipation. He simply absorbs the passage of time the way a biscuit absorbs tea, slowly, calmly, entirely. Malcolm begins preparing dinner at 4:55 p.m., which is 5 minutes earlier than usual, but not alarmingly so. Trevor notes the sound of the cupboards and drawers opening, followed by the brief rustle of the measuring scoop in the tin dot. It is the red scoop today, sometimes the blue. The food is the same either way. Brownish, evenly shaped, slightly dusty on the outside. Trevor hears the biscuits fall into the bowl. The sound is pleasant, familiar. It echoes very faintly in the kitchen and then is gone. Dinner is served in the same spot it is always served, on a square of floor tile that Malcolm once tried to level with a piece of cardboard. The cardboard has since flattened entirely, and no one has brought it up. Malcolm sets the bowl down, taps it once with the scoop, not to summon Trevor, but simply because he always does, and walks away. Trevor rises. Not quickly, not slowly, just with steady purpose. He walks 11 steps to the bowl, pauses, looks at it, and then begins to eat. Each bite is thoughtful, mindful, you might say. Trevor is not one to rush a meal. He chews with care, each crunch echoing faintly off the skirting board. Occasionally he pauses, not because he is full, but to reflect. He stands there in the stillness of the moment, tail held steady, eyes soft, ears in their default position. It is not a break from eating so much as a respectful interval. Then he continues. By the time he is finished, Malcolm has sat back down in the armchair and resumed reading a small book about local railway stations. It is not a new book, but Malcolm reads it as if it might change. Trevor drinks water afterwards. He always drinks after food, never before. The water bowl is exactly 3/4 full because Malcolm has topped it up earlier in the day and always leaves a bit of room in case Trevor breathes too hard while drinking. Trevor laps the water with quiet efficiency. No splashing, no drama, just soft movements like the ticking of the clock, but wetter afterwards. Trevor sits down beside the bowl and then decides to lie down. He lets out one long exhale. It is not a sigh. It is just breath leaving the body in a way that suggests contentment without enthusiasm. The stomach feels pleasantly full. Not heavy, not light, just enough. The kind of fullness that makes the world feel stable, and the rain feel more like background music than weather. The sky outside is still grey, but now it is the kind of grey that edges toward evening. The sort of grey that makes you think about putting on socks, even if you're already wearing them. Malcolm looks out the window and says, "Still going, is it?" Trevor does not respond. He does not need to. He knows the rain is still going, and Malcolm knows he knows that's the kind of household this is. At 7:12 p.m., as if something quiet and invisible taps gently on the edge of his awareness, Trevor lifts his head. He does not look alarmed. He simply senses that it is time. He gets up, slowly stretching one leg, then the other, in the deliberate, unshowy manner of a dog who knows there is no rush. He walks to the door, not quickly, not slowly, and sits beside it. He does not scratch, he does not bark. He simply sits, facing the door the way he always does when nature politely insists. Malcolm notices, of course. Malcolm always notices. "Right," he says softly. "You want to pop out." He sets down the small railway book, marks the page with a train ticket from 1993, and gets up. The rain is still coming down, just as steady as it has all day. Not wild, not heavy, just determined. Malcolm opens the door and stands aside. Trevor steps out. No fuss, no hesitation. Just one step, then two, and then he is outside in the quiet drizzle of the evening. He does what he needs to do with dignity. Nothing hurried, nothing theatrical, just the necessary work of a modest, responsible dog. A single gust of wind moves a plastic bag across the footpath. Trevor watches it pass with mild interest, then turns back, toward the house. He is outside for exactly 1 minute and 37 seconds. Then he returns, stepping over the doormat without a sound. Malcolm, waiting just inside, has already laid out a small folded towel. Trevor steps onto it with both front paws and pauses. Malcolm gently pats the rain off his back, not much, just a bit, and then gives him a quiet scratch behind the ear as if to say, "Good lad." Trevor accepts the gesture and walks into the living room. He does not shake himself off. That sort of thing isn't his style. By 8 p.m, everything is winding down. The lights are dim. One lamp is on. The rain is still falling. Trevor walks upstairs ahead of Malcolm, one step at a time, each foot placed carefully. At the top, he turns left and walks into the bedroom. His bed is in the corner. It is not fancy. A simple padded rectangle of mild brown fabric, slightly dented in the middle. It smells like Trevor and like home. He circles once, then again, then half again, then he lies down in a sort of sideways loaf. His nose rests on his front paws. Malcolm appears shortly after, brushes his teeth for the same amount of time he always does, and switches off the light with a click that sounds somehow final. Trevor starts to fall asleep. He does not dream of running or chasing or barking. He dreams, very faintly, of walking slowly beside Malcolm on a nice smooth path. Just the two of them, somewhere very quiet where the sky is the color of oat milk and the breeze is too lazy to move the trees. Please, Trevor, the most boring dog that ever lived, falls asleep. He is warm, he is dry, he is completely, absolutely okay, and so the day ends. Nothing very much happens at all.